Hello everybody, my name is Tom, I am autistic. Today I'm going to be talking about autism and empathy. For a long time, people have thought that autistic people don't have empathy. As an autistic person, I can say that is not the case. A lot of autistic people I know, and myself included, do show empathy, and also families of autistic people also say the same thing. Most autistic people also claim that they do have or also have empathy, like me. So in this video we're going to cover that. There are some studies that have claimed that autistic people don't show empathy, like a study in 1992 which got some autistic children with some neurotypical children, neurotypical being not having any psychological conditions or anything, and basically they showed them videos of people either in bad situations or feeling upset or having bad emotions, and they claimed that autistic people were like something like 1 point lower, was scored a little bit lower on cognitive and affective empathy. I'll get on to what the two types are in a bit. But there was also another study in 1997 where they took some 20-month-old autistic babies and 20-month-old neurotypical babies. Somehow it's very difficult to diagnose babies at that age with autism, but they had done it successfully somehow. Then got someone like an adult who took a toy hammer, pretended to hit themselves on the thumb with it, and they would act hurt and everything. According to that study, the autistic babies also scored a little bit lower. But there are some flaws in this. For one thing, one of the things they were judging it off is how many facial expressions people were people were showing. That whereas with that, autistic people sometimes don't show facial expressions which match what they're feeling. Sometimes they do, often I do, but sometimes I don't. There have been times where I've been happy, yet I've not smiled. Sometimes people ask me, Tom, are you okay? You look upset, or you look upset. Something. Well, I'm not upset, and actually I'm not upset. Sometimes we show facial expressions which don't match what we're feeling, and sometimes we do. And so, and with this, and this was basically the case for these kids. They were feeling empathy, but they weren't outwardly showing it. Another study in 2009 sort of debunked this theory that because autistic people don't show as much empathy through facial expressions doesn't mean they're showing it. And what they did is they detected muscle movement in the autistic people's faces, and they detected that actually using this study, autistic people didn't have a lack of empathy. But so from a personal point of view, I can things like not wanting to look at someone if they're hurt or crying, for instance, can sometimes, or not wanting to look people in the eyes, or not showing outward facial expressions of empathy, that can give neurotypical people or people without autism the impression that they don't have empathy. But that doesn't, like I've said before about the facial expression, that doesn't always show what it means. Show the full extent. For example, one time I went at college, I saw someone crying. I went up to them and was like, "Are you okay?" And my facial expressions did match it. Then I showed outward empathy, and then they told me what it was. I didn't think that. Now I was like, "Oh, okay." My facial expression kind of went from, "Oh, okay." I went a bit like that kind of thing, so I wasn't showing outwardly that I had empathy. My facial expressions didn't match it, but I did feel empathy. But while I felt affective empathy, like you're hurting, so I feel sorry for you, I didn't feel cognitive empathy because I didn't think it was something worth crying over. What cognitive empathy and affective empathy is. So affective empathy is you see someone who's like hurt or something like that, and you feel an emotional, like you're hurting, like you're upset, you're whatever, I feel sorry for you. Cognitive empathy is, I understand why you feel upset. So, in that scenario, I felt sorry for her that I felt sorry for her that I had, that she was upset, but I didn't, but I didn't understand why she thought it was why the thing she was crying about was so bad. So that's a lack of cognitive empathy. That is a more accurate theory to what it is. I can show other examples where I can show other examples like so. When I was little, I'm not as much like this anymore. But when I was little, whenever someone used to get hurt, especially if they were hurt in a way that I could empathise with, like especially if they were hurt in a way that I had been hurt before, like a kick in the balls or whatever, I used to empathise them a lot. And if people used to get hurt and everyone used to start laughing at them, I was usually the one that didn't laugh. I used to cry at You've Been Framed, but I don't do that anymore. But basically, and the reason for that is is because I had a high amount of affective empathy. So I'm not like that anymore. I am more. If someone's not been hurt that much, I am more likely to laugh at them now. If someone and I am more likely to laugh at You've Been Framed now, although I don't really watch it. But yeah, you get my point. And also, yeah. Although if I saw someone hurt, I might then I'll help them. Yeah. But then again, yeah, whatever. So what that was is that so autistic, yeah, family members of autistic people also say the same thing, that they show a large amount of empathy, like emotional empathy. So they show a large amount of affective empathy, but like I said, not much cognitive empathy. For example, sometimes I might go and tell a joke that is an offensive joke that might hurt someone's feelings. If they then no one laughs, if they don't laugh at it and they don't like it, I'll then say, "Oh, sorry." You often find me and other autistic people saying sorry a lot. That is again affective empathy. But the reason why, maybe, okay, I haven't studied this, but maybe the fact that we said the joke in the first place is because we didn't understand, we didn't realise it was caused them to be upset. That is which to other people would have been obvious that it would have hurt their feelings. So sometimes we might tell offensive jokes which we think will just be funny, but everyone else around is like, so, mate, how did you not know? How did you not know that'll hurt their feelings? The reason for that is probably because we have a lack of cognitive empathy. But then when we see that they have hurt, they are upset, we will say sorry. We will feel bad. We'll feel bad what we did. And after they've explained, and usually after they've explained why it upset them, we might sometimes understand then. Sometimes you might just need to explain why something is hurtful or something if we're not able to understand it ourselves. Another thing about this is, so you've all seen The Inbetweeners, like that is which is a comedy program from 2000. It's a comedy program, and he says to Mr. Gilbert, "Mr. Gilbert, you seem an intelligent man," and Mr. Gilbert doesn't take to it very, very well. I don't understand why saying you seem an intelligent man is hurtful. I honestly don't, because to me, like, you don't know the person, so you can't honestly say you are intelligent because you don't know them. But they seem like they are intelligent from what you can see of them, from what you know about them already. From the little you know about them already, they seem intelligent. Since you don't know them, you can't say they definitely are. They just seem it. Yet, apparently, according to the program, that was meant to be an obvious something that will upset him. I don't see it. And when my mum tried to explain why that is, I still didn't understand it. That might be a lack of cognitive empathy, but or there might be a lack of cognitive empathy, or or yeah. So that's another thing. Sometimes we might not understand why some. So yeah, and that's basically another example. Now, but that aside, we show a lot of affective empathy. Things like when we look away when someone's in like pain or whatever. Like one time when someone was crying after being shouted at by the teacher, I looked away because I didn't want to see them because I felt sorry. I didn't want to see them cry. Some experts have actually explained this by saying that actually looking away is a coping mechanism because autistic people, as new studies have found, actually have a lot of affective empathy. So looking away is a way of coping with emotions, and basically, and yeah, if someone was crying, and yeah, I felt sorry for her. If you know, so yeah. However, so we do often we do understand. We often know right from wrong, and if someone had lost a family member or something, we would feel empathy for them. Sometimes, again, we might not show face expression, something like say that, but when someone something sad, bad has happened to someone, I'll genuinely feel sorry for them. The lack of cognitive empathy doesn't exactly mean a lack of empathy altogether, because because I mean, if it's something obvious like that, or if it's something that I've been through myself, I'll understand why it's hurting. But if I don't understand why you're hurt by it, there is still a chance I might feel sorry for you. Sometimes I might not, but then again, that's not exact. You can see that with other like neurotypicals as well. But autistic studies have also shown that autistic people are more likely to show empathy towards other autistic people. Maybe that might be because autistic people understand, maybe. So yeah, so it's a two-way thing actually. Autistic people are better at understanding autistic people's emotions than neurotypicals are, and neurotypicals are better at understanding neurotypicals' emotions than autistic people are to neurotypicals. Yeah. Also, again, if I saw someone get shouted at because of an autistic trait because of something that they've done because of their autism that they didn't mean to do, I would feel sorry for them because I've been there before. Or even if I wasn't shouted at for it, if it's an autistic trait that I've personally experienced myself, I'll be able to empathise with them and I'll understand it because, well, I've experienced that trait before, and I know that it's not really controllable. So if someone's getting shouted at for it, I'll understand that they're getting shouted at for something that they can't control. So now we've covered quite a lot in this video. There are still other things, so if you know of things I've missed out, please feel free to put in the comments. If you've got any more questions, please put in the comments. But now the question, does it really, what should experts keep saying that autistic people, what is it bad that experts say that people think that autistic people don't have empathy? The short answer to that is yes. It does. The fact that people believe this myth is harmful. For example, there are some people who wrongly wrongly try to link autism to terrorism based off this myth, based off the belief, the false belief that autistic people don't have empathy. There was also another time, and also there were some people who might lead to some people questioning whether or not people know right from wrong. Autistic people know right from wrong. For example, on an Autism Speaks advert, which I'll cover in another video, which was actually quite a bad advert. It said with someone saying I am autism, saying I have no idea of right from wrong. I do not know right from wrong, which obviously isn't the case. Of course we know right from wrong. Of course autistic people know right from wrong. I get from wrong. I know, So, yeah. Also, another thing that might lead to autistic people, sorry, I've missed something out, is sometimes they may struggle to read facial expressions. I don't exactly know what that is, but that's not a lack of empathy. That's just finding it difficult to read people's facial expressions. That doesn't mean we don't feel sorry for people when things happen, or that, you know. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.